Hello and welcome to Nintendo 64. It's time. We marched the Black Queen right out of Zitagenia. But what happens next in the Ogre Battle Saga? Well, I'm here to tell you all about it. In the game that started my love of strategy RPGs. Never get tired of this. Never get tired of seeing this. I'm just going to let this all play so you can enjoy it. Long ago, there was a time when strength ruled and evil held the world in its vile clutches. The age of Zitagenia. Hey, that we were there. We went to Zitagenia. But it's not over yet. The age of Zitagenia and such. Ogre Battle 64, Person of Lordly Caliber, 1999. Man, in 5 more years, this will be 30 years old. So this is the 25th anniversary of Ogre Battle 64 this year. So absolutely a good time to play it. And that's about when I played it back in 1999-2000. My personal story with this is having found it at my local video rental store and picking it up and falling in love. And here we go. Man, these 3D graphics. Long ago, when the gods walked among men, there lived a people called the Oryx, who were cherished by the earth goddess Bertha, and a man known as the Progenitor. What kind of a name is that? With the power of a god, he drove away the indigenous and reclaimed the heartlands. The Oryx rejoiced in the victory of their mighty king. Yes, we're already subjugating a people here. While the indigents bowed down to their new ruler, so reads the legend of the progenitor, as recorded in the history of Palatinus. I always love that name, Palatinus. Palatinian year 238. The Holy Lotus Empire, located on the western region of the continent of Galicia, dispatched the Brigade of Radiant Cross against the neighboring countries that rejected the teachings of Lord Lotus. The purge and conversion of cults by force have reached Deneb, the kingdom adjacent to Palatinus. The noble king of Deneb declared war against Lotus, but was defeated within a year. After the fall of Deneb, Lotus Empire has selected Kingdom of Palatinus as the next target. Having witnessed the formidable strength of Lotus, King Procus surrendered without much resistance and signed the peace treaty offered by Lotus. I love how they changed the color from yellow to orange. While forced to convert religion, introduce class system, and pledge loyalty to Lotus Empire, Procus was granted to keep his position as king. Although supervised by the triumvirate sent from Lotus, Palatinus was able to maintain its autonomy. 6 months later, Lotus ordered the subjugation of the uncivilized southern region of Palatinus. The lower class, including the Bulmakans, were forced into labor, people of the eastern region who worshipped birth. And the lower class joined forces to oppose the oppression, but were unable to overcome the power of the king backed by Lotus. Taking the matter seriously, the triumvirate of Lotus deprived the lower class of much rights while rewarding the upper class with privileges to ensure their status. The inane acts of the puppets of Lotus. The inane says is what it was. It required 10 years for a streak of light to shine through the dark, ominous clouds. Dun dun dun. I love how it zooms in on that. That's the main castle of Palatinus. Okay, well, that's your backstory. In this episode, we're going to play the tutorial because I want you to see that. And we get to see a familiar face.
Welcome! Is this like your first time here? Beginners need not worry. I'll teach you how to play this game. Are you ready? Then, let's start.
So this is pretty much the same as Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen. But it has this. So we've got...
I'll tell you about what you can do on like the field maps and other important stuff. I'll tell you about the organized screen where you prepare for battle. You can practice what you've learned in the other sections by trying out battle here.
So I like that it comes with this neat little practice stage that you can do, where you get to control Deneb. Deneb. I always thought that was kind of funny that you get to control Deneb. So you don't have to do all this stuff. So we have a couple of units that we'll dispatch to help us. We have Chip and Melanda. So much like Ogre Battle 64, you get the same things. So one thing we have in this game, and I talked at length about Ogre Battle 64 during Ogre Battle and March of the Black Queen. You see these little flags there? That shows the fatigue of your unit. And you can change that. I'm trying to find the button. I think it might be the select button. No? Start button. That shows like where they're going. This shows the amount of fatigue they have, and I like having that up. So Deneb, let's look at her status. She's a witch, which is pretty garbage in this game. She's got some pumpkin men. So we're gonna actually do. So you've got like all this stuff. We don't want stronghold information. We want unit commands. You can do way more in this game. Formation. I'm gonna put Deneb in the middle. I'm gonna put these pumpkin men in the back row so they do pumpkin shower. And then that. So you have 3 rows in this game instead of 2 rows, and things do different amounts of attacks and such, just like the other game. Let's do our other units while we're at it. Formation, just because the wizard more in the middle. I don't know. He works like any other wizard. And I didn't look at her unit yet. So formation. She needs to be in the back row where she can do double healing. And we'll put the one Valkyrie in the middle up front to protect her. She's got 2 Amazons. This game has a lot more for female units to do than the other game. Just like in Ogre Battle. No, in Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, we have to liberate towns. Nothing. As you notice, my dispatches didn't cost me money, which was one thing. This game doesn't require you to pay money to dispatch your forces, or have to worry about paying tributes every day. But liberating towns allows you to have places where your forces can heal and relax and get their health up. It has the same thing as Ogre Battle 64, Ogre Battle, with the towns having a morale. And there is a reputation meter or chaos frame in this game, but it's hidden. You can't see it. It still affects which ending of the game you get, but not, and which characters you can recruit, but not quite to the same picky levels as Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen. But see, this place has a morale of 89, so it's important to note that, because that means we want to liberate it with a more lawful unit like Melanda, as opposed to a more chaotic unit like Deneb. Now I'm ignoring this town because it's neutral, as shown by the yellowish. There's also a shop there, but the yellowish color means that it would be difficult to. If we take this town, we'll lose alignment for taking it, and if the enemy takes it, we also lose not alignment but reputation. So here's an enemy knight, Sergei. He's got 1 fighter. We're going to take him out. He's level 11. Are we that high level too? Oh, we're level 30. Holy crap. So actually, we could probably have gone in and changed class on some of these people. I wonder if we could do that. So one thing you can do in this game, and I want to do, you can use the R shoulder buttons. You can have strongholds, which does the, targets cities. unit, which we're going to use to target Sergei, or location to go to just any random spot that doesn't specifically target anything. But unit is important in this game because you can track down enemy units. You can specifically tell your people to focus on enemy units, which is great. Let's just see really quick here. If I had you... Can I have you retreat to the base, Chip? Is it in unit commands? Yeah. Let's see. If we do this, the R button, you can do dispatch, you can do organized screen, you can do items, you have elemental pedras, which we have all 4 of here in the tutorial as well. 4 of the main ones. There's more. These are what we get instead of tarot cards. They're a powerful magic spell we can use to attack enemies. We don't get some of the other benefits that tarot cards would normally produce. You can also do settings. You can see your mission objective, which is usually to take over the enemy headquarters, but it'll show you where the enemy headquarters is if you need to see it. Sometimes there's a slightly different mission objective. You can also end and leave if you want to in this. We're going to go on the organized screen. I guess I could have made more units too. Jeez, I'm allowed to do that. But since we're such high level, can we we have some more knights and some more Valkyries. I don't know why we wouldn't. I want to see if we can change class though. If we have class changes available since we're high level. No, we don't. Nobody can. We don't. We could. Yeah. Yeah. Equipment cannot be purchased. Yeah, you can't purchase equipment to change their class while you're out here. So we just get what we get. I could make more units, but I don't think I need to. Okay, so I'm not allowed to change classes here. They don't give you that much freedom, but you are really high level, and we shouldn't have any trouble defeating these enemies. Let's also... No. Let's send Chip also to go here. And we'll send Deneb after them. I will leave Deneb to guard the base for now, but... Milanda is ready to attack. So let's see how badly. So just like the other game, you have interrupt when you in the middle of battle. You can change your strategy to autonomous, which is best, strongest, leader, and weakest, just like the other game. I typically like strongest. We'll leave it on autonomous for now. You also have retreat, which runs away, and elemental pedras, which you can use in the middle of battle. But those are the only options you get in this game. You don't get you know, as much... Well, I think you only had the 3 options in the other game, too. But yeah, see, this is what the level difference is going to be like, where they're never going to hit us, and we're just going to do a ton of damage. But it's tutorial, that's the point. But you do lose alignment when you kill units that are lower level than you. And having killed the leader, now that unit will retreat to base. A little skull over his head. And he'll try to retreat to his base. But she's going to track him down because that's what she's doing. Now, I'm not particularly worried about anybody coming, so we're going to go with Deneb as well. Here's Alexia. She's level 22, so she's a little bit higher level. And will be more of a challenge for us than these like level 11 people. I think that's kind of the idea. We fight higher level enemies as we go. I like that Deneb is a pink witch. You cannot get Deneb as a unit in the regular game. You can't even meet Deneb. This is the only time you can interact with Deneb in the whole game is in the tutorial. The fact that they put her in here is kind of a joke on, you know, the other game, obviously, because she was a character, and if you let her live... It doesn't matter if you let her live in that game. It would have been neat if there was, like, actually a connective thing, where if you played Ogre Battle, the other Ogre Battle, you could get something for, like, loading your save data into this, but you can't. I mean, they're different systems. They were completely different games, so anyway. Wait, there's something here. Heal Leaf was found. We defeated them. Now what? Well, now you're just gonna stand there and wait. We're gonna let this guy battle with her. Yeah, and you can also use... Do I have the ability to... Where are my... Oh, they're on a stick. You have a map. You can zoom in and out. You can move around the map. You can zoom in and out. Yeah. Okay, here's what you're gonna do. Attack her. She's just guarding the city. So you also notice this little flag at the bottom of his HUD bar there is filling up. showing you that he's gaining fatigue. When a unit gets full fatigue, can I grab Melanda? Can I please be allowed to grab Melanda? When a unit gets full fatigue, then they fall asleep, and that can be to your use to for capturing enemy units or for getting enemy units, because you might be able to get them to fall asleep. You can also tell your units to rest, so their fatigue doesn't decrease. At any time, you can tell them to camp while they're walking across the world map, in which case they will get HP back for they'll be vulnerable to enemy attacks, and helps them get HP and fatigue back so they can be at full strength in case you have to fight an enemy. And I will use that as a strategy in beating some of the enemy units and levels. Not to worry. Please go to the city. Oh, you captured Shafus of us. So even though he's a knight, his alignment isn't high enough to not capture it. It doesn't really matter because we're playing. Tutorial, and this isn't gonna have any impact on the game or gameplay whatsoever. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. If you want me to explain in greater detail the mechanics, please let me know in the comments, but most people I imagine that are watching this may have already seen this. Or I assume you're watching this because you watched my Ogre battle playthrough and you wanted to continue.
Yay, way to go, Deneb.
She likes herself. You can also give, I mentioned this in the Ogre battle playthrough, you can give units multiple destinations, which can be useful, up to 3, by just clicking the button on location and then clicking again, which can be useful for giving them, complex orders to avoid certain areas, or not spring enemy traps and such, which is, something I get it up to quite a bit. It's Admiral Akbar, and it's a trap or something. Mostly pretty basic units available here, except Deneb's got the pumpkin heads. But that's her thing. That was her thing in Ogre Battle, too. She was the pumpkin witch. So she's going to fight Admiral Akbar. Units also fight worse.
We're ready for a workout.
She is. She's like the Elvira of Ogre Battle. Units fight worse when they have low fatigue. In this game, witches don't even do attacks in the front row. They only do... He's dead, right? Yep. Pumpkin's heads can kill people, too. Witches only do status effect magic, no matter where you put them. But they can do it twice in the back row. But they don't have a logical level up, but they do get pretty high stat growth, so I'm not against using witches for a while in the beginning of the game, because they make pretty good sorceresses later, when they can change class. He liberated that city, so now one of the things we get, and we'll get a cow cutscene about this, is there's a witch den here. This is, instead of the temples, you get this.
Can I help you? You're fighting a war, aren't you? Through years of research, I finally came upon a way to perform miracles without relying on a god, I think. But my experiment is going slow due to the lack of willing subjects. Now I can revive those fallen in battle. Doing this would help me with my research. I do have to ask for a small fee, though. There are others like me throughout the land who carry out their own experiments. Visit them in case misfortunes fall on your comrades. But don't push yourselves too hard. Take care.
Yeah, the witches are like the Roshfallian temples, but you have to watch a little cutscene every time you want your people resurrected. But there's nothing wrong with that. I like the witch. She's charming.
Hey, I hope you're ready.
And you get back attacks, which Attacking a enemy unit from behind will completely reverse the order of facing of the units in the enemies in the characters in that unit. So, like, if Deneb was attacked from behind, she would be in the front row, her and her pumpkins, instead of in the back row, which is, you know, where we want.
Lucky.
That means she found an item.
There you go.
Maybe she's, like, trying to tell you that you're doing good. I don't know. She's getting a little low on stamina, so I'm going to let her rest there for a minute. This game also has time of day. Some units fight better at night, some units fight better in the day. I don't think it's quite as, like the other, like Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen, where you get, I don't think it's quite the same thing where you get, like, lawful and based on alignment that chaotic units fight better at night and lawful units fight better in the day. I think it's mostly just the type of units, so just some units specifically fight better at different times of the day. Let's go to the boss and show him what for with our forces. You also have the days, the little thing that takes up your days up here in the upper right. There's nothing really that affects the number of days. There are some things. Oh wow, this guy. He's a level 2, instead of Samurai Master, he's a Sword Master. Huh, interesting. Just 2 fighters and a soldier though, and I'll explain soldiers later when we get into the game proper. The number of days does affect some events in the game. And there's a calendar that keeps track of that. Like, your main character has a birthday, and every year, or official year of the calendar, you get a birthday present. So it's sometimes good to advance days for that. Huh, I didn't think you'd make it. You won't best me. Can you handle my sword? Now, let's begin. Feel the tension as the round begins. So what we're gonna do... Actually, no, we're not. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna let them do whatever they want. That's what I wanted anyway, was her to paralyze that guy. So he gets an attack like the samurai in an ogre battle, March of the Black Queen, where, what do you call it? Where it does like the Ayanuki thing, where it damages him, but it does a bunch of damage. But we lose because we didn't kill him. But unlike Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, even though we killed those guys, well, you'll see when we get in the fight with him again. He killed his guys. He doesn't instantly get them back at full health. They're dead. Any units you kill and damage you do maintains. If you kill the boss, the fight's over, obviously. But it's so much nicer than that. They don't have, I cannot die, not in a place like this, not in a tutorial. Note, in most missions you will finish when you defeat the leader of the battlefield. However, there are instances when the objective will be different. Try to pay attention. It's true. Yeah. The fact... that is such a good quality of life thing. Also, the enemy, like I said in this game, doesn't have infinite forces that keep spewing out of their base. All you get, and you get money, more soldiers, and usually a treasure for beating the levels. Usually a powerful weapon that you could equip to one of your characters, which is really cool. You get the little fireworks that consistently go off. You do need money for buying things and for resurrecting your forces. The witch does charge quite a large fee, so, you know, it's important to have that money. And in my playthrough, I'm going to be using a cheat to have infinite money. Because that's just how I play. It's not intentionally to have infinite money. The other reason is for other... there's a different reason I'm going to use the cheat, but the side effect is that I have infinite money, because I have to sell things in order to sell lots of things in order to use the cheat, so it just gives me lots of money. So, yeah, this will be an exciting playthrough. I hope you're looking forward to it. I'm going to do the opening bit next time, the opening cutscenes in a video, and then we'll finally get into a level. The levels in this game are going to take hour or two to beat each. It's going to be long. They're mostly going to be long videos again, like in probably longer than March of the Black Queen. And I don't really have a song that goes along with this game that I'm going to use lyrics for, so I'm just going to call things whatever I want to call them. If you have any ideas, any suggestions for something like that, put it in the comments. If you have any questions about the mechanics of the game or anything about the game that you want to talk about, please feel free to comment. This is my all-time favorite game of anything, ever. And I've played it a million times on all sorts of platforms, and I know the ins and outs of this game. But there might be things I still don't know. I'm still learning things all the time. So feel free to tell me something cool that or your personal story about Ogre Battle 64. I will continue to talk a little bit more about my personal story as we play. I look forward to it. We'll see you next time.